Say hello to my tag team partner, AK. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm sounding and feeling better than you sound right now.
Man, Jesus. Right now, my allergies
you caught my cold.
facts, man. My allergies are killing me. I don't know what it is, but yes, I'm not good right now. But we're going to make it through because, like I said, we got a very special guest, Miss Freda Payne.
Yes.
Legendary musical singer. How are you doing, Freda?
I'm fine. I think we're getting cut off here.
Okay.
I don't see myself.
Okay. Let me see.
Okay. How do I do this now?
There should be a little button.
No. Wait a minute. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
we can. There you go.
Here I am.
There you are. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm fine.
You look beautiful.
Yes, you
Thank
do.
You.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, guys, as I was saying, we have a very, very special guest today. We have the legendary Miss Freda Payne. Welcome to the Whippin' AK show. Woo! I will tell you, I'm a little starstruck right now.
Really?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna be honest. You not only are you an amazing, you're from my hometown. You're from Detroit.
Hey.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Even though you out there with that sun out in California right about now, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm here. You know, we're having a much cooler weather. It's not very, normally this time of year, it's a little warmer. It starts warming up more. And it's still nice, but it's a little cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all right. I'm not complaining.
Well, I'll wait another month or two before I go out that way then. I'll wait until it warm up all the way.
This weather here has been crazy. It's like still winter weather. I think it was like 50 degrees yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's around like that here,
Really?
Yeah, it can be at night. It'll get to like that 50 or it'll go into the 40s. Yeah. But it's getting better. I'm ready for it to warm up now.
I think we all are. Well, Freda, once again, I'm looking at your resume. I've already was very familiar with your music, but listen, I didn't even think we would have time to do a full retrospective. We would have to say that for like TV One Unsung or something, because you have such a long and storied career. I do want to run off a couple things that you've done just so people can stay up to date. First thing first. Besides the amazing music you've done, like your career has spanned decades. Like in 1974, you was on Jet magazine, and I'm gonna be honest, I probably still got that magazine at the crib because I'm gonna tell you, I used to love Jet. I still got tons of them at the house.
Did you say 74?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. I've been on about 10 Jet magazine covers. And I think the very first one came out in like let me see. Oh, wow. It was a long time ago. It was before the 70s, before I even did Band to Go. It was in the 60s. And they said I was Quincy Jones' protege.
Okay. So you were on the Quincy Jones tour, is that correct?
Well, I was at the time, I did perform I was working with his big band. This was back when he had his big band. And also I did the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland when they were celebrating his 75th birthday. And guess what? This year he turned 90.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. Like starting off, so when you first start off working with somebody like Quincy Jones, we know his storied career as well. Like, how did you first get connected with him, and how was it working with that legendary man?
Oh my God, it was terrific. It was exciting. It was terrific because even in his band, he had an all-star band. Like all the musicians were the top guys. And at that time, we worked at the Apollo Theater up in Harlem, and on the show, it was first of all the headliner was Billy Eckstine. Billy Eckstine was a superstar back then. he was like all of that, you know. And he was the headliner, and then Red Fox was the comedian, and Charlie Coles and Honey Atkins, they were a tap dance duo, and I was the singer, the girl singers, they would say, the
Okay.
girl singer.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about working at the Apollo. We've all
Wow.
heard stories about the Apollo. Was the crowd really that intense? Like, they talked about the Sandman taking you off stage, and they said that New York crowd can be serious. Is that a real
Well,
thing?
no, wait a minute. The Sandman, that was for the amateur shows. That wasn't for the
Oh.
professional performers. No, the Sandman, that was for like the amateur shows.
Okay.
Okay.
And the Apollo was famous for that. They were known for that, you know, if you weren't good, if the audience, especially if the audience didn't like you, he come and pull you off.
Really?
Yeah, he would dance you off, literally.
Wow.
Now, you like I said, you came from the city of Detroit. Like you said, I'm from Detroit as well. My partner here, she's from Toledo, so that's really relatively, we're all pretty much in the same space. But
We're all
like,
neighbors, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, Detroit back then was always a mecca for music, Motown and everything like that. But was
Yeah.
it hard to break through? Because, you had so many talented people back then.
I know. Well, yeah, let me tell you, you mentioned Motown. I got to meet Berry Gordy when I was 14, and this was in the 50s. It was like around 57, and there was no Motown yet. He had not established the Motown label. And I remember back then meeting Smokey Robinson with the Miracles, and he was still married to Claudette Robinson, and all the Miracles were alive.
Wow.
And of course, that's when I met some other people too. And then, of course, Eddie and Brian Holland. I went to high school with Brian, and Lamont Dozier, I went to middle school with him. We were in the same homeroom for like 2 years straight. And then Eddie, who is like 3 years my senior, I first met him at my house because Barry brought him to my house when I was 14. And he sang for me and my mother in our living room in Detroit.
Hey.
And that was when Eddie was, Barry was pushing him as a solo singer, solo artist. And Barry wrote 4 songs for me, and we recorded all those songs at United Sound, which is no longer existing today. But it's ironic that United Sound was located on West Grand Boulevard, right on the same street, not far from where Hitsville is located today.
Yep, yeah.
And that United Sound was where everybody recorded, even people who did commercials, who recorded professional commercials for radio stations. They recorded at United Sound. As a matter of fact, when I was 16, I recorded some radio commercials there. And I had to join the union AFTRA when I was 16 years old. And so Barry wanted to manage me back then. And so he and my mother just didn't see eye to eye about contractual negotiations, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Anybody that knows anything about the history of Motown and Barry Gordy, how they did business, that was well known. After he established Motown, most artists, he wouldn't allow them to negotiate their contracts. The only artist that he allowed it for was the Four Tops.
Okay.
And I know that because Levi Stubbs told me. And when I got to the point where if I wanted to negotiate, it was like a no. So that's what happened there. But I always, people say, do you regret it? I don't, because I feel that, I feel like that wasn't the road I was supposed to take.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree I get that. I understand that. Do you feel like they wouldn't let you negotiate because you're a woman? Do you think that had
nothing to do with it?
Okay.
They did the rule was that no, that they basically wanted you to sign, they wanted you to sign the contract right in the office or sign it without, you know, they didn't want you to take it to a lawyer and have them
Oh.
haggle over certain things, certain issues or things in the contract to make. And then we weren't talking about, my mother wasn't talking about making any major changes, just little slight things. And I don't want to get into all that anyway, because
Right,
that
right.
gets,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everybody now, Barry is the king. Barry is the king now. Everybody, like applauds him, and he definitely is the one. I have to give him the credit for changing the music world for Black artists, for R&B, because before Barry, there was no R&B. It was called Black music, and they didn't play it on the pop stations.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. They didn't play Black artists on the pop stations. So Barry was able to cross over because he hired certain promotion men, and they were able to feel their way, or let's say bulldoze their way into the pop field. And especially when they saw that the pop stations and the white kids were loving this music.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the term R&B is relegated to Black artists. If an artist is Caucasian, it automatically is considered pop.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I remember my friend, he passed away, my late friend Bill Withers. He was disgruntled about that because he said, my music is more pop, it's not R&B. And
Rest
they
in
want to
peace,
put
Bill
me in the
Withers,
R&B.
legend. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what happened. I mean, I'm just telling you some facts. That's all.
Real.
We love facts.
And I want to.
Yeah.
I'm glad you touched on the R&B thing, because we want to go into your hit, "Band of Gold," and we're going to talk about
Band of Gold. That changed everything.
Man, listen. Okay. I want you to explain that feeling, because it's funny. We were just talking about the last week, the Whitney Houston documentary, this movie on TV, and how the energy from that was. But with the Band of Gold, as it was starting to bubble, how did you feel as an artist? Like, did you know something was different with this track?
Can I be honest? I felt
Yes.
the only thing I felt different was that I thought the lyrics were adolescent, because at that time I was 28. I said, here I am, I'm a grown woman.
Okay.
Why wouldn't, if I got married, I wouldn't be sleeping in separate beds. But that night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms. Now, come on, get real.
Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on. Freda, now, back in the day on TV, they didn't let Lucy and Ricky sleep in the same beds. But I get it.
Yeah. No, they could sleep in the same room, but twin beds.
Right.
Yeah. With a dresser in between them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Come on and jump over here in my bed.
But that song, you literally took it around the world. So,
Oh, yeah.
Coming from Detroit and then starting to see the entire world, how did that feel?
Oh, well, you see, I actually, like the first time I went to Europe was in 1965. And I was like 22 years old, 23. And I was Germany. I worked in Germany. I worked in France, Spain, England. And also I worked in Sweden, Stockholm, Norway. And you know what? It educated me, traveling, and especially going to Europe. It educated me. I never went to college. I never went to a university. I graduated from Central High, and after that, my education was getting away, traveling out of Detroit. I also lived in New York. I lived in New York for like 7 years.
Did you love it there?
Yeah, I loved it. It was tough. It was kind of tough, but I love it. To me, when you're young, you're ready. You make sacrifices. You're ready for anything and everything. you know,
Yes.
and you're exploring, and you're growing up, and I was 18 when I went to New York to live, 18 years old. And so I started, as I, navigated my way, around, and got an agent and started working, and then recording. My first record deal was with ABC Paramount, and they put a single out on me, and then they recorded me on an album, the jazz label that they had was Impulse. And that was like being on Blue Note or Verve.
Okay.
And I was there with people like John Coltrane, Duke Ellington, and people like that. And so that was my experience. And then as the years unfolded, I started, going to being invited to nice restaurants and eating, all kinds of cuisines, French, German, Thai, what have you, Indian and all that. And I've never, this was my education. Not only was I educated in learning more about the world and other people.
Yes.
And my mother used to say, everybody's not going to be like your parents, because I was raised pretty well. Everybody's not going to treat you the same as your parents. So I was prepared for that. And she was right. You know that song, Mama was right. There's blues in the night.
Yes,
Man,
there
that's
is.
facts. That's
So
facts. Man.
that was it. But then I want to talk about my latest project, and an album that I recorded a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And
Now, this is an adult album.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
adult. This is
Adult
an adult.
contemporary.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this is not R&B or pop. This is jazz. It's with a
Yes.
big band and strings, and it was executive produced by the executive producer was James Michael Getz,
Yes.
and the line producer was Rodrigo Rios.
Okay.
Rios, he's from Brazil, Rodrigo Rios. And we went in the studio, and I did 4 duets. I did a duet with Johnny Mathis, and I did one with Dee Dee Bridgewater, who's a fantastic artist. Kenny Lattimore. Oh my God, I love that man. He's real, he's really a fine artist and a good singer. And we did the song "Let There Be Love," which is the title of the album.
Ooh, let me jump in for a second. And when I'm listening to that song, I was hearing some nice little flirtatious comments back and forth. I was loving that energy, man. The chemistry was really good with you and Kenny on that song. I gotta tell you, I love it.
Well, this is before he got married to the judge. He was so nice. It's so funny when he recorded that afternoon at Capitol Records. I remember him saying, when we finished, he said, I gotta get out of here. I got a hot date. And I think it was because this was 2019. I think it had to be her. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the rest is history. We all know that. Oh, and then I did a duet with Kurt Elling. Yes. And oh my God, that man, he can scat. Boy, he can scat. I love him. I already, I didn't even think I could get him, but he said yes. And Johnny Mathis said yes.
Yes.
They all said yes. So there was 4 duets, and then I did a song by myself. It's All Right With Me. Yeah. And I'm very, very proud of that project. I'm very proud. And then I wrote my memoirs. I have a book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wrote my book, and it's about my life, being born and raised in Detroit, and on, and then on and on after that. And I tell my adventures and my love and my loves and love losses and all that.
Speaking of love losses and loves, your song "Just to Be With You," we were kind of like trying to figure out what the song was about. So can you tell us? It seems like it was somebody that you would go lengths and miles and whatever just to be with that person.
Yeah, it's a longing. It's when you have, when you got somebody's got your nose open, you know that.
You're wide
And,
open.
right. And you're sitting at home and you're like wondering what they're doing or where they are, why haven't they called or whatever. And you're saying, just to be with you all night and day. I hope I can pray. This will be the last night without you. So you're sitting at home, like wanting to be with this person.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song.
I can relate to that, so.
For sure. Now,
yeah.
I'm glad you talked about that. And you were talking about love. One of the main topics that we talk about on our show from the beginning is love. For you to do an adult contemporary album, you're bringing love back into the game, because as you know, with some of this current music, they don't really show as much love as they used to. Was that a conscious effort to say, I want to show love, I want to feel good in this music with this album?
Well, I heard it. I first heard it done by, well, first of all, it was produced and by Michael Sutton on his label, and it was on his label of The Sound of LA. And it was first recorded by Anissa Sutton.
Okay.
And I heard her rendition, and I said, wow, Michael, I love that song. I said, I want to record it too. And so he let me record it. That's how it happened. Oh. But also, there's another song that I have that's on his label that he did with me and he played. It's called Do You Still Dream About Me? And I love that one. I have a personal relationship with that song. That song was first written back in the 80s by my late friend, Sammy McKinney. And Sammy wrote Just Because on it for Anita Baker. And he wrote some hit songs for the Pointer Sisters as well. And he had worked with Patti LaBelle. And so Sammy, I did the first demo on it. And I said, Sammy, I love this song. Do You Still Dream About Me? And I was supposed to be getting a deal with Columbia. This was back in the 80s, okay? Mm-hmm. And what happened was, the next thing I know, they signed Nancy Wilson, which was, I just felt like, well, I guess a bigger fish got it, somebody hotter than me and more, well known. And of course, Nancy did a wonderful job. She recorded it and she did a wonderful job. I mean, the track on it and everything was great, and her vocals great. But I said, and now I did record it finally in 2003, and it was produced by Preston Glass, and it was on an album called On the Inside. That was never on a major label or anything. It was an independent thing. Yeah. And so I said to Mike Sutton, I said, Mike, I've always loved this song and I want to do it again. I don't care if I've done it before. I want to do it again. And he did a track on it, and he made it more luscious and more in a way, a little bit like jazzy and R&B, Mm-hmm. So that's another one that I like. Do You Still Dream About Me?
You feel that one in your whole soul, I can tell.
Oh yeah, that one is about it's the title says it all. Yeah. Do you still dream about me? In the heat of the night when you're holding me tight, is it how it used to be?
Yeah.
Girl, you better sing. You better tell them. And see that love. I'm telling you, that's what we all about. That love right there, because we need more of it out here right now. Well, real quick, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's also a song I did. Oh, by the way, I did an album on the Mac Avenue label, right there. That's Detroit label. And it was the late Gretchen Valade Carhart who asked me. She said, "Freda, I want you to do an album on my label," because I had worked the Dirty Dog. Okay. In Grosse Pointe.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar.
The Dirty Dog in Grosse Pointe. I had worked there, And she would be there every night that I was there. I would be like 3 or 4 nights in a row, I'd be there. And she said, Freda, I want you to do an album on my label. And I did the album. And you're talking about love. There's a song, well, there's a lot, all the songs are about love, but there's a song on there, it's called The Island. And it's a song, the lyrics are like, make believe we've landed on a desert island. Bathe me in your waters, warm me in your moonlight.
Oh.
Taste me with your kisses.
Woo.
Find the secret places. Touch me till I tremble. Keep your arms around me like there's no tomorrow. Let me know you love me. Now, if that's not
That's not love. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Freda, you making it too hot here, girl. Come on, baby. You making it too hot. All right. Cool
Lips
it
getting
down.
a fever.
there's a line in there. I'm not even gonna say it.
Oh,
To get the name of the album I did was called "Come Back to Me, Love."
man.
Okay.
And guys,
Come
Check that out.
Love.
want to let you guys know, definitely get these albums on Spotify and everywhere you can get your music. Please come out there. Please make sure you get these albums. And like you said, could you let them know where to get your book and the name of it one more time?
Okay, you can get my book on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon or Amazon Prime, and you can get it in a day or two. And
Okay.
my book, and also the album "Let There Be Love." You can get that. It's on all the media like Spotify, Pandora. You can also order it. You can also order it from my website as well, which is I Am Freda Payne.
I am
It used
Freda.
to be, yeah, it used to be Freda.com, but it's now I Am FredaPayne.com.
Okay. And we'll make sure we get that on our social medias as well, so people get a direct link to your music and everything, and your book as well. Well, Freda,
Yes, thank you so much.
thank you for hanging out with us, man. But I do gotta ask you one more thing before we let you go. You also did some acting as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I'm looking at your list. You were in Sprung, Nutty Professor, Cordially Invited. What was your favorite if you were to pick one role that you did or one film that you were a part of?
Oh my goodness. Well, I never had a big role, but as far as acting is concerned, I've played the role of Ella Fitzgerald on the legitimate stage regional theaters. And where in Ella clothes, dressed up in you had to wear a fat suit, under fat suit, padded clothes, and the little wigs. And I was also working with other actors. Ella's actor, Norman Grant's her traveling companion, who was her first cousin, Georgiana, who took care of Ella, her half sister, Frances, all these other actors. Oh, by the way, the last time I did it was in Rockville, New York at the Madison Theater. And last year, I won, this is called the Adulco Award. Adulco Award. It's an award given to people in Black theater. And I won for Best Leading Actress in a Musical.
Congratulations.
Salute
Playing the
for
role of
Yes.
girl. Yeah. So that's what I've done. I mean, I've done the movies too. I mean, when I say the movies, which was my favorite, I like them all. I think I enjoyed doing that little vignette, the cameo in the Eddie Murphy movie Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The clumps. It was called
Yeah,
Nutty.
for sure.
The clumps. I enjoyed that. That was fun because I remember Janet Jackson was on the set at the same time,
Yep.
and we had a good time.
Sweet, man. Well, first of all, I want to thank you again. Your energy is amazing, and I love
Beautiful.
that. That's one thing. Your music is amazing, and I'm glad you're still doing your thing all these years, guys. And you're young, you're still youthful, and that's what I love about you. So we're gonna have all your music, and for people to get the links on our pages. And guys, make sure you go support Miss Freda Payne.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and I'm enjoying it. And this has been fun. And especially since you're in Detroit.
Woo-hoo.
All right,
Yeah.
Freda. Thank you very much for coming on the Whip NAK show. And we'll talk to you soon, okay, sis?
All right. Okay.
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Man, I'm gonna tell
Beautiful.
you,
No, she's beautiful.
man, the energy was, I loved it. I loved it. She was
Yes.
great.
Man.
That
And
listen,
her life is, you can just tell, like, even just some of the little stuff that we hit, like, her life was amazing.
I know, and that's why when I said at the beginning, I don't think we could have touched everything. But like you said, coming, you just like I said from Detroit, you know, coming from Toledo, how it is.
Yeah.
And to be able to experience the world at 18,
Man.
19 years old, people might not ever get that chance in their life.
No, she's very, very, very blessed. Like, her life. And I was just reading all this stuff too. And I'm glad that you had mentioned the movies that she did. Cause I was like, she was, you know, in films. And I mean, literally she lived the life. And she seems very happy and, like, you know, knowledgeable. And that's so cool, man.
And one thing they always say, they said, sometimes we're as young as we feel. And I can tell you that lady still feel young. Because when she was talking about them lyrics, I'm going to tell you, your point was like, woo!
Oh, that's why I said she felt that in her soul.
Man,
like, she sure did.
What did she say? She said, "It's one line. I'm not even going to tell y'all because it's a little too hot." I said, "Okay, Freda." For real, guys, make sure y'all check her out. We're going to put her links on our page so you can go out and get the album, get her book, and really support her. And we didn't get a chance to do it at the beginning of the show. I do want to shout out our sponsors as always. Make sure you come check out DJ Dale Beat Detroit every Tuesday at the Dream Suite in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Ballroom dance classes are just $10. All you have to do, once again, go to DJ Dale Beat Detroit, Farmington Hills, Michigan, at the Dream Suite. We have his links on our Facebook page and our social media. Check him out. $10. It is a great time. Learn to get your two-step on. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. It's good for couples. It's good for singles. It's good for people with one leg, because you can even hop around on one leg and still dance. It don't matter.
Hey, Larry said we're going to go.
Y'all definitely all should, man. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a really fun time. I love it. I mean, it's a great time. Also, make sure you check out Northwest Championship Wrestling. They're one of our other sponsors. They had a great show this past Friday. We got another show coming up, Cyber Wars. What month is this? This is April, May.
No, this is May. We're May.
May 28th is the next show. Great family-friendly show. It is fun as hell. The last Friday of the month. Come check us out. I mean, we had a ball last time.
Yeah, y'all ate chicken last time. I said,
oh, man. Literally, there was a wrestler that came out. Well, first of all, we have a wrestler called Santana Jackson. He is actually the Michael Jackson impersonator, but not just a regular Michael Jackson impersonator. He's from Las Vegas. He does the MJ Live Vegas touring show that goes all over the country. And he's also a wrestler. Yeah. So he won our championship, but he went against a guy named Lando Johnson, who does like a Prince character. So it was like Michael Jackson versus Prince. Wow. I don't know whether right. So if you never got to see them two go against each other musically, you got to see it in the wrestling ring. That's why you need to be at these shows. You never know what's going to happen. Not to mention,
shit, man.
Man, listen, it was crazy. I mean, it went from, and then he went for the Michael Jackson Thriller. He had girls doing the whole Thriller dance and everything. And then the Prince guy came out, the lights turned down, they were purple lights. It was the craziest thing ever.
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
Now, I will say, I don't know what the chicken had to do with it, but the Prince guy came out with 2 buckets of chicken. And he was like, anybody want any chicken? I'm thinking it's fake buckets. I'm going to be honest. That man brought it over there. I ate, and of course, my fat ass. My partner, shout out to Jordan, he just grabbed a chicken wing. My fat ass, I didn't eat today. So I had grabbed the breast. You already know the whole breast. I'm choking to death. I can't even commentate. He's talking. He's like, so what do you think about this match?
You're like, hold on, let me eat my free chicken. Weak as fuck.
What I'm telling you guys, you don't get, I mean, it was some crazy entertainment. Definitely worth coming out to. It was fun as hell, man. And we got one more sponsor. I want you to holler at talk about them.
Wait, look, before we rock,
Oh, yeah.
we shout out Ready to Rock the House. Dude, I thought it was so funny when Jeremiah came and sat in your seat. You're like, do you just want to do this? Do you just want to do this? And he's like, well, yeah, actually I do. You're like, okay, bro, just go ahead. And he just came and sat in the seat and just interviewed with, what was his name? Jonathan?
Jordan.
Yeah, interview with him. I was like, well, shit. Look at
shout out to Jeremiah. We've had him on the show before. His wild ass. We went to his wrestling show before too. So yeah, he comes out with this chinchilla fur.
That's whatever. What I said. Yes.
So he comes down. It's like dog inside the building. He's hot as hell. And I'm gonna tell you, Jeremiah's a little man, but that mouth is about this big.
Yeah.
So we come, and you have to see the video. We do a live pre-show. The man comes in, pretty much runs his mouth so much. I'm like, here, do you want to do this? Even though this is my job, do you want? He's like, yeah, Whip, I'll do it.
And he sure did too.
I just said, here, take it, bye. And that boy can talk, man. If you don't,
you guys have good energy though. Y'all mix really, really well. So it's really cool to see you guys.
And that's what's up, man. It's always about having a good time. So definitely, if you get a chance, you definitely want to go check us out, man. But if you want to shout out Ready to Rock also.
Yeah, Ready to Rock the House LLC is a locally owned business by two very special friends of mine. They specialize in family and recreational fun. They offer a variety of indoor and outdoor entertainment. You know, they got the bouncy houses, they got the water slide, they got those bumper balls. So if you have anybody you have anything against and you want to get in there and you want to bump against these motherfuckers as hard as that you can and knock them down, this is a place to go. And they got projection screens. So it's about to be the summertime. Anybody having any type of party, even if you're having a graduation, a birthday party, anything. You know, we talked before about having the adult, the drunk Olympics. Yeah, on the bouncy houses. Even for the kids, it's from kids for any ages. You can check them out on Facebook, RTR House or Ready to Rock the House LLC. They did have the promotion going that we were talking about last week, but they had so many people call in about it because of the show that they stopped the promotion early because they're getting so booked up.
Well, that's a good problem to have, y'all. That's that's
what I'm saying. So people need to get with us.
Yes, So if you want to be a sponsor, you just heard it. We changing the game. We help y'all. Y'all help us grow. That's how it works. It's teamwork makes the dream work. So
that's right.
If you want to be a sponsor, come on, rock with us. You will not be disappointed.
No, our highest package is only $65.
Come on,
$65.
Come on, man. Half of y'all go to a restaurant, spend that one day. This time, with us, you're getting 4 weeks of promotion. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to whisper some in your ear. We say 4 weeks, but we're going to probably give you a little more because we're going to take care of y'all. I mean, you not only get 4 weeks promotion on the show, you get your little logo just like they got it in front of my face right here on the video form. You get it on the social media platforms. We're going to do an interview with you. That's a whole lot of advertisement for just $65.
$65.
And no, our price is going to probably change soon too. So definitely, you want to get in now while you can, man. We really do want to help y'all grow just like you guys are helping us grow as well. Now, a couple things though I do want to get into. I want to say, first and foremost though, Jamie Foxx, man. You know, we're hearing conflicting reports, and we don't want to say too much right now, but we do want to just say, hope everything is well, man. Prayers, thoughts, whatever you believe, whatever you say. You know, I just heard, you know, one thing I hope this means something. I don't know if you saw it on his Instagram. About an hour ago, there was a post that said, I feel your prayers and I feel your thoughts. From his personal Instagram. I don't know if he put it up there, his management, but, you know, maybe that's...
I take it as he does need them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's a good thing if he wrote it or whoever wrote it, but I mean, of course, I feel like he doesn't want everybody to know, like, especially during this time, like you're trying to get better. You don't want to have all that stress on you. I'm just saying, like you were saying earlier, he's like, dude is like in shape, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, yes, he's 55, but half of us would have never thought that boy is built up.
Man, he looks good. Looks like he takes really, really good care of himself.
Yeah, man. You know, and that's why, you know, you never know, man. And I know we all think we think we 20 years old still. You know,
you think you're 20. I know I'm 20, bro.
With that being said, take care of yourselves for real. Go out there,
Yes.
get, whatever it takes, man. Go to your doctor's appointments, everything.
And love to Jamie Foxx, man, because we all grew up with him. So we're sending him well wishes and just let him know that we're all thinking about him.
Real talk. Now, and Kay, there's a couple questions you've put on our Facebook page, questions of the day the last couple of days, and people was feeling some type of way. Could you drop some of them questions? Because I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to comment on the page, but yeah, I saw them.
Okay, so one of the questions that I had on there was, if you had the opportunity to be a housewife or a house husband, would you take that opportunity, and could you do it? We had a couple people chime in. Hold on, let me get it here. I know one guy said that his wife made enough money that he would be an excellent house father, and he would definitely take up the opportunity to do it. And I do know him personally, and I'm just saying I think he would make a very good house husband. Somebody said it would be extremely hard for them. He grew up watching his dad work his ass off to provide with a good life. To me, it's what a man is supposed to do. I've also had a job since I was 16, and I'm used to having the ability to support myself and those I care about. And that's from Jason Brown. What do you think about that?
I'm going to tell you, I've been wanting to be a house husband my whole life. But see, the way my belly is set up, I can't get chicks to just pay for stuff automatically because of this stomach. It's all good.
That's a lie, because you said like some years ago, yeah, see that tongue sticking out. I know you're lying, because you said some years ago you didn't have a car and this girl was paying for your everything.
Oh man, this is true. This is true. But honestly, I say I would want to be a house husband, but I'm way too active, way too animated to just sit there.
Yeah.
Now, I just don't think that could be the life that I could live. And then, even though, I've told the story before, I've never met my father. I know of him, but I never met him. So I can't, but I've seen my uncles, my grandfather, they all grind. They all worked hard. I will say that I didn't want to be the type of guy that just worked and when I say this is no disrespect, because I understand you take care of your family, but I didn't want to be a guy that just worked my whole life, 7 in the morning to 12 at night, 7 days a week. And I'm taking care of the whole world except for myself. I did want to have some type of life balance. Does that make sense?
No, it makes yeah. I think that's important.
I think a lot of the guys back in the 70s, 80s, and even, those fathers didn't, because they were taught only to take care of the crib, which again, they were supposed to take care of the family, but I think some of them didn't have a, life that they could have had as well. But I don't know. I don't think I really could be a house husband. If Mama Bear one day just all of a sudden made $20 million and told me to sit down, my first question is, how the hell did your ass make $20 million? What is you doing out there?
Right? But what if it was like a good amount of money though? Like 20 million is a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I could obviously, but for 20 million for sure. But just like on an average, like say, your wife made 300,000 a year. That's a pretty hefty amount. You know what I mean? But I think that some men feel demasculated. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
I love it when people try to say that word because I always mess it up too.
I'm like emasculated something.
I have to break it down. Emasculated. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think a lot of men do feel like that. Because and I told the story I think last week or whatever. A young lady gave me $200 one time when I was in a rent situation that I didn't even ask for, and she held that rent over my head forever. So I don't, with me, I never really was the type to ask my woman for much of anything anyway. If a girl did something for me, I was like, thank you, and I was very gracious. I see people that have people do things for them, and they act like assholes. Like I never felt I was entitled to anything. So for me, if somebody was just doing it, I'd probably be extra trying to do something. Like I would clean the house all day longer, making sure the babies were good. Like I would be so extra making sure everything was A1 because I just don't like the idea of nobody just doing too much for me.
You feel like you owe somebody something.
I can take from my mama, but nobody else. But that's mama. That's different.
Oh, your mom. Your mom.
Everybody else.
So that kind of goes with what Rachel Kathleen said. She said, nope, I'd be fucked up if I had to tell someone what I can or can't do in regards to my money. I make my own, therefore I spend my own. So, I mean, I see where she's coming from. Danielle said, I think I could be a housewife, but when I'm off work for an extended period of time, I find so many activities to do that require me to leave the house. Plus, I spend way more when I'm home and not working. And then somebody else said that she sure could be a housewife. So I'm going to let you know, like, I am, and it can be hard, man. Cause I suck at it, period. Like horrible. Like I'm not a cook. Like all that type of shit. Like all them housewives do, like the standard housewives, I'm not that at all. Thank God, like my husband is the best man in the whole entire world.
Superman.
Man, he is. And he's never ever said anything to me about money. He's never made it like, this is my money, not your money. Sometimes he might forget to send me some money and then I'll be like, hey, can I? And then he'll be like, oh, I forgot. But I don't like that feeling. And just that little feeling sometimes makes me be like, I'm taking my ass back to work.
I feel you.
Because I don't like that. So I always had my own money. You know what I mean? Until the last couple of years. So it was a big change. I'm just not meant to be like this all the time. Like you do get bored and you get like stir crazy. And especially shout out to the women that are housewives that have children, because I don't know how y'all do it. Like, I don't think I could, there's no way.
It's funny you said that, because like I said, I do live by myself. And there's times that if I don't do whatever I do and work and everything, like, even though I'm not working, I'm working. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? There's always something.
Yeah.
Whether I'm doing something for the Whipping AK show, where I'm doing something for everything, like I'm always still doing something. And next thing you know, them 8 hours are gone of your day. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no just, being at home watching TV. You might watch one show. Next thing you know, damn, I got to clean up, wash the dishes. I got to do this. So like you said, people with kids, I salute y'all. Like
that's right.
When I was younger, I used to be like, man, I was one of them dudes that said, man, her ass ain't working. That motherfucker, anybody can take care of kids, just be at the house. Nah, that shit is rough, like for real.
And not to mention, like, it is a full-time job, like literally to take care of kids. And not to mention, like, you have to like then take care of yourself on top of taking care of the house and taking care of the kids. You know what I mean? And taking care of the pets if you have any. Like, yeah, that shit's stressful, man.
Just even, I remember one time, because I do rent my place, and the city was doing, they make the landlord do inspection every so often. So my inspection was coming up, and the girlie was down here helping me clean up. Just cleaning up, and I don't even have a huge place. Just cleaning up the crib took 4-5 hours. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm taking a break. I'm sitting in my chair trying to drink some beer. Like, even that, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta de-stress myself.
I was like, I'm trying to plan how to move. But even that was like stressful. And that's just one day of trying to clean the crib. It's not even that big. So
and some people only have these, like some housewives, they don't do anything. Like literally, can you imagine just being in those 4 walls all the time? And the only association, like now you have Facebook, but like when I was younger, it wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? So it was like literally like you're sitting with a child and a TV and pets if you have them, like literally all day long. You're not really going anywhere, because if you have 3 or 4 kids, like who the hell wants to pack out fucking 3 or 4 kids and take them grocery store? Sometimes I see these ladies in the grocery store, bro, with like 4 fucking kids, this big ass ring on her finger, and I'm like, what kind of meds are you on? For real.
I had a friend that was married, and for a while, probably about 6 months or so, she didn't work, you know what I'm saying? And she had to take care of their newborn baby. Do you understand? When her husband walked through that door, she was like, here. You know what I'm saying? And they would have a battle, because his logic was, I just got off work. I don't feel like, I need about an hour to take a nap or something. I don't feel like watching the baby. She like, I've been here with the baby for the last 10 hours. I need a break. And even that was a battle. And it's being a stay-at-home partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I will say some men, and I can't just say men, but I know from my experience, because I worked with a lot of men, they would work so much so they didn't have to be home. So they wouldn't have to be like, you know what I mean, with all the kids and all the, because it's stressful. It's fucking chaotic.
I definitely did that. Especially when I was going through my divorce. We were already beefed out. I used to work for Flagstar Bank, which is a prominent bank here in Michigan or whatever. And I tell you, when we were going through our problems, we were supposed to work 8:30 to 5. They gave us open overtime. I was working 7 in the morning to 7 at night every single day, 7 days a week. So I didn't have to go to the crib and deal with house shit.
Wait a minute,
You
I
know
gotta go talk to my husband because he be working like 3 to like 6. What the fuck is going on? Is there something I don't fucking know? What's going on?
Well, see, this is when you know it was a problem. Because with me, even when I would get home at 7:38, I would stand outside the door for about 10 minutes, taking a deep breath. All right, here we go. You know what I'm saying? If he comes right in, then you're okay. But if you see his car, because you know when that car pulls up outside, you can hear it. You're like,
man,
motherfucker, you still outside? You coming in or what, motherfucker?
That motherfucker's outside in his car listening to the radio like, fuck, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there.
That's when you know it's a problem. Y'all need to have a talk, man.
No, I'm okay then.
Okay, see. Oh, shit, it was times I would put up in our apartment complex because we stayed in a really nice apartment in Farmington Hill. I would drive in it. It's like, oh, damn, that's right. I forgot to go get some water. I need to go back to the store.
Anything, bro. I'm surprised you didn't hit the bar all the time, though.
Because where I lived at, they didn't really have one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where we lived at, we were like we were in the far suburbs of, Detroit. So it was like none, And the area we lived in, we were like the first 2 black people to live there ever. So
I'm weak as hell.
I went into the bar and they said,
what the fuck?
Going? Right.
You get the you ain't from around here
Man,
special.
everybody be talking. All of a sudden they just stop talking. And the music just stop. And they look at me. And it don't help I'm the biggest motherfucker in the world. Oh man.
Well, speaking of relationships.
Yes.
I did post another question, and these were just like randoms, right? So I'm just like laying in bed at night, and I'm just like, I wonder what people would think about this. Like, I wonder what people would think about this. And the question was, can you forgive cheating?
Absolutely not.
See? Okay, so Teddy, my cousin, he said, absolutely not. And I said, well, why not? And he said, it's not worth the stress. Every time the person leaves the house and having to wonder if they're really going where they say they're going or they're going to fuck someone again. Whoa. And I said, yes, that is true. I can understand that part of it. Like, I get it. I think that when the trust is gone, it's a wrap, bro. See. But don't you think that sometimes, and I know like people say it can't be a mistake, but there are things that happen in relationships that, communication is failing, lacking of other things is failing. And people do form bonds with other people and they do stray out of the relationship. Oh. And I'm not saying a chronic cheater.
I think it can be a mistake for a man. I don't think it can be a mistake for a woman.
Real? Whoa! Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
A man can go out of town, right? Or go to a bar with his boys or whatever, drunk as hell. Let's say the young, well, let me move the age up so we don't try to personalize this at all. Let's say the guy's 48.
Okay.
So he's out, he's out of town or he's whatever. And he's been drinking. He's having a good time with his buddies. But, he's losing a little bit of hair. He's gained a few pounds. He got his woman who's been there forever, but he kind of want to make sure he still got it. This young filly, tenderoni is saying some words into his ears. I took that shit back to the early 80s.
Man, you sure the fuck did. All Bobby Brown did it on us.
It was the Whitney Houston movie. But so he literally, something happens. He did not give a fuck about that woman. He was not emotionally connected to her at all. He just,
here we go.
His dick was hard. He tried something. That was it. You know what I'm saying? It did not mean that he didn't love his woman. It did not mean that doesn't mean there was anything bad going on in this situation. Now with the woman, 9 times out of 10, and I know women can say they can't have sex without emotional connection. That is very true. They can. However, when they're in a situation with somebody they love, 9 times out of 10, if a woman cheats, it's because she's missing something. That she actually had an emotional connection with somebody. It might be somebody at work, her homeboy at work, that she ended up start calling her work husband and she's telling her work husband all the bad shit going on with her in her relationship. You know what I'm saying? So now dog is just sitting there, oh, for real, that's crazy. I would never do nothing like that to a beautiful girl like you. Man, he must be out his shit, man, to be messing over with you. But I'm gonna just sit back. Next thing you know, he said, well, let's go to the bar sometime. Y'all go to the bar, he rubbing on your ass. You mad at your husband or your boyfriend. Next thing you know, oops, upside your head. Now your little legs all in the air. You know what I'm saying? And he got you.
So you're saying that it can be a mistake on the man's side because
Yes.
he felt like he was lacking something in his self. So he had to feel
No.
validated.
Well, I'm saying though.
That's what you said.
Or it could be just a drunken stupor. He could
Oh, okay, so that's that's a mistake.
But he doesn't care about that woman. The woman actually has some type of connection. Think about this. Every man believes that his woman has her backup already in her pocket. Like 90% of women that got relationships right now, their next boyfriend is already on their social media page.
You know what's crazy about that is that we think the same about y'all. So it goes both ways.
But again, total transparency. Back in the day, I've said this story many times. I used to be a chronic cheater, even though I don't really believe men can cheat. I think I've said that before. I said on our radio show, I believe that men do questionable relationship practices. They don't actually cheat. You know what I'm saying? When I say questionable relationship practices, things that maybe you shouldn't do in a relationship, it's a bit of a question mark. That's what I believe. I truly believe that.
This is bullshit right now. Just so y'all know.
How? I really believe that, but I'm saying. But with that being said,
I ain't never heard so much ridiculous shit come out of your mouth in, I don't know, ever.
But
questionable relationship. What the fuck does practices. That mean? Okay, then women have questionable relationship practices.
Women cheat because there was an intention. There was intent for a woman to do it. Like she done put on her best motherfucking heels. She done put on her goddamn red lipstick and her goddamn her lashes out the hair. Her nails about 4 feet long. She knew what the hell she was doing when she left that night.
I feel attacked.
What I'm saying though, with a guy, even in a guy's wildest days, a guy goes to the bar, okay? Mm-hmm. He hopes that he comes up on something for the end of the night. A woman can literally go to a bar any day of the week and say, oh, I'm having some fun tonight. I'm popping off tonight. I'm catching somebody. A guy got to hope that his game plays out and he can get something to pop off. Now, with that being said, let's take a step back here. Like I said, back in the day, I was a questionable relationship practice person. I will admit that. But I have very strict rules. I would never date anybody. Whoo, that eye came right to the camera.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I would never mess with anybody that lived in the same area as the person I was dating, number one.
Oh, really?
No, exactly. Why? Exactly. So
you knew what you was doing. That ain't questionable, bro. That's premeditated.
But it was still questionable. And one of my old supervisors told me this. I didn't realize it back in the day. He said, when you meet a young lady, if you got somebody, make sure you tell the girl. Be honest with her. Because then she can make a decision if she wants to rock with you or not. You know what I'm saying? So I would do that. So the more I tell the story, the more honorable I sound right now. Because I was very honest with them young ladies back in the day. So again, it's questionable relationship practices. But I also told them I didn't give a fuck about them emotionally. There was no connection. And if a girl ever says something like, why are you over here trying to fuck me? Where's your girlfriend at? I would not talk to her because it has nothing to do with my girlfriend. If we were doing something, that was just me and you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, now, shit's just falling out your mouth.
Going back to a woman, like I said, their whole intention was to cheat. You know what I'm saying?
But how do you know that? How do you know that their whole intention is to cheat?
Listen, back in my day, I'm going to say it that way, I used to pride myself on having sex with girls that had boyfriends. Because then I didn't have to worry about all the crazy shit that chicks do. I didn't have to deal with none of it. I had to deal with none of the emotions and none of it.
You're my little secret.
Yes. It's funny you said that. Back in the day when I had a little side chick, that was her little ringtone for me. That's the exact song. You know what I'm saying?
Way to keep it from your boyfriend, goofy.
Yeah, Man, let me tell you how bad the bitch was. I'm gonna tell you how stupid she was. She literally would have me pick her up from her house, and she would say, "Hey, tell him you're the Uber driver, and I'll get in the back seat. Then we go around the corner. Then I'll jump into the front seat."
Okay, here, I gotta ask you this. So was that exciting to you? Is that why you did it though? Like, was it that rush? Because some men cheat because it is a rush, right? It's an adrenaline thing. It's like that exciting, you're with that one person and it's kind of like, it gets boring. And so you're like, okay, like, maybe getting caught or knowing that you're doing something wrong or knowing that you're,
this show ain't supposed to be a whip therapy session. What are you doing right now?
No, I'm just wondering, like, why?
Well, when I was doing it back then.
Because maybe I felt like that when I was younger. I don't know. I'm just saying.
But I feel you. But see, with me, because I didn't get into the game until I was like 19 or 20. So I was a little older than everybody else when everybody else was jumping off the porch at like 14 or 15. Okay.
Right.
So I always felt like I had to catch up. You know what I'm saying? And because of my, we talked about body dysmorphia and all that earlier in this, season. Now, once I start feeling myself, it was like, well, I mean, if I can make my girl like it, maybe I can make this person like it. Then I can make this person like it. So it was an ego thing for me. I cannot say that it was not. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I told you, but I was always great. So at least in my mind, that's why I say questionable relationship practices. So all the women that I dated, none of them ever found out. Number one, you know what I'm saying?
They all know now. They all know now.
But like I told you, one of my exes actually reached out to me, from probably the first girl I ever dated, or serious, or like, it was like, and she was telling me that she was going to get married, but she never got married. And she was like, I just want to tell you something, Deshaun. You were the first guy that ever treated me like a princess. And you're an amazing man, and you're so awesome. And I was like, and I was like,
he's like, bitch, I was cheating on you the whole time.
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You got to weigh the pros and the cons. But
oh my God.
The point is, going back to the original question.
You're full of shit.
Could I accept a woman cheating? No, because that means she intentionally decided to go out there and do something.
Okay, well, I don't accept your explanation of it because I think it's bullshit, because I don't think that all women do cheat for emotional women. Some women just like to get banged. And they don't need the emotional attachment.
So why you can't get banged from your husband, your boyfriend, or your husband? What's wrong with him?
Because they want something different. I don't know. Just the same reason y'all do it.
So he's not fulfilling. So there is a connection, though. They're not fulfilling it.
Then you can say the same thing about you. You are not being valid.
Let's go back there. Let's go back. I had another rule that I didn't talk about. If I did partake, because we don't cheat, you know what I'm saying? If I did partake in questionable relationship practices, I would only hit the person once or twice, because a man told me a long time ago, if you have sex with a woman 3 times, she's going to get emotionally connected. So long as it was once or twice, it was just a fun fling. It was like motherfucking Grease. Tell me more.
Oh my God.
It was summer nights. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Well, now that we've educated on everybody on how to be a cheater, and Whip's book, everybody knows what the do's and the don'ts are of every questionable relationship practice. Exactly. I'm going to jump in and say that I feel like if somebody cheats one time, you can be forgiven. One time. Because I feel like I'm in a grown-up ass relationship. I'm not doing questionable relationship practices anymore because I done left that shit in the past. I'm a new woman. And if anything were ever to happen, first of all, I would hope that I would be able to communicate with my partner, what was going on. But if it wasn't, and one of us did happen to go out, and I'm even talking like in the marriage. So let me just tell you, like when I was younger, I was like, hell no. If somebody fucking cheats, like that's fucking it. You know what I mean? Like there's no second chances. There's no nothing. But I think you know your partner. And I don't think this goes for everybody. But if you do know your partner, and if something happened and, shit does happen. And if they are apologizing and they're also showing actions that back up their apology, I do believe that you can forgive and move on to your relationship, make it stronger.
Now let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
You just said it publicly right here, but do you tell a person while y'all dating that I'll give you one chance to fuck up? Because then do you think they would do it, or do you just, if it happens, then you speak on it?
Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I feel like in the grown-up world that we're in, if you do cheat on your significant other, it is a conscious decision. However, I feel like at this point in our lives, you have to know that you're cheating yourself if you cheat on somebody that you are in love with.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. That's why, like, you know, even though I tell stories about how I used to be, you know, by the time I got married, I had through all that, you know what I'm saying? I will say that I felt like by the time I got married, it was two things that changed for me. One, I had did all the shit that you know what I'm saying, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do. When I say all the freak perv shit that crossed Whip's mind, I did all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really didn't have, you know, to feel like, okay, I still gotta do this stuff. And
you sold your wild oats.
Yeah. And even with my ex-wife, you know, I told the story before that we were a throuple, but even with that, like I said, she suggested it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I used to be like, are you sure? Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because I had already, you know, anything like that, you know, there wasn't like I had to have this super motherfucking hanging from the goddamn ceiling sex anymore. None of that shit.
Wait, you didn't have the sex swing?
You know what I'm saying? No, we did not have one. we had a pole in my old crib, and we had a party, but a fat bitch took it down. Long story, I should have said that, but she did.
What?
We had a pole, like a stripper pole, running with this big ass party. But motherfucker climbed to the top. The thing said 250. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not being funny because I'm a big motherfucker. I didn't jump on it. She grabbed the top of it. It was like,
did it really? You swear to God?
It's funny. Like if I still stayed in an apartment, I would show the camera. The black mark for where the pole was at the top of the ceiling is still there. Literally.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it just reminds me of that Nelly song. What is it? He's like, I got a pole in the basement.
And it was so crazy, dog. And I don't know if I ever brought it to the studio back when we was at the station, but it was this drink I have called Skittles. I think I brought it for New Year's Eve.
You did bring it for New Year's Eve, and you were getting everybody fucked up off of it.
And remember how good it was, but light, but it caught your ass. Man. So me and Jamar had like 30 bottles of it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's drinking it, and for whatever reason, the young lady went straight from the bottle to the pole. And the pole went from the ceiling to the floor when that motherfucker fell.
That Skittles had her thinking she was somebody else.
Listen. She thought she was Tiana Taylor, even though she was Lizzo.
Stop it. No, stop it. Lizzo would be a great pole dancer, girl.
Yes, she would have.
Yes, she would.
Real quick, it's funny you having this conversation because I was just listening. We were talking, me and you were talking earlier about Carisha, Young Miami. And she had a radio podcast show with she had Trina. Are you okay?
No, my husband keeps it's my husband. He keeps walking back and forth. He's got me nervous. What is going on?
Is he okay?
Oh no, he's waiting for food. He's like,
okay. All right. So I'm gonna get her off in a second, bro. Give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What I was saying.
No, not for me, for him. No worries.
Okay. Yeah, Young Miami had, Carisha. She had Trina, if you remember the old school, one of the original city girls, if you will. And she was interviewing her, and that was Carisha's question to her: how would you handle infidelity? Because I don't know if you know, but Young Miami was dating Diddy, and they asked her were they together. She originally said yes. Diddy was like, and I don't know if you saw the video. He's sweating like, huh? We together? What?
Yeah.
So then she kind of said, well, you know what? We together, but he can do what he do, and I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So of course the media, attacked.
Ran with it, yeah.
Yeah, and they attacked him like he was, even though obviously they both had some type of agreement. Whether she wanted to, we can't. But anyway, she asked.
We know the Diddy on Diddy anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The real. But she asked Trina, and Trina pretty much said the same thing you did. She was like, if we discuss whatever, that's one thing. If we just having fun, but even if we are serious. Now, I know she said, take away the baddest bitch. Look at me as Katrina. I guess that's her real name. You know what I'm saying? If I'm dating somebody for real, you have to weigh the pros and cons. If I truly love that motherfucker, now don't get it twisted. I'm going to give that motherfucker hell.
Right.
But if I love that motherfucker, I will give a motherfucker another chance.
For sure.
And Carisha was like kind of taken aback, but I guess it made her feel relieved because people were kind of shitting on her for letting Diddy, you know what I'm saying, date her and date other people. But one thing I think, and this is a whole nother show that we got to do, the way women do other women sometimes is a
Dirty as
motherfucker.
hell. Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like when in my younger days, I was a motherfucker. I was like, I don't give a fuck. That bitch ain't my wife. She ain't my girlfriend. What the fuck it got to do with me? You know what I mean? And that's the way I felt. Like she ain't got nothing to do with me.
A lot of chicks, I'm telling you, like I said, when me and my partner Lakeisha would do our events, especially our speed dating events, keep in mind, you're talking about 25, 30 women signed up for these single women would come to these events. And most of the time we would have more women than guys, but we would still have a good number of guys. But some of them guys would be good, can give a gab, can talk it over. But you can imagine some of those guys, that type of thing, were a little bit,
Yeah, we're looking for something a little different.
Yeah, or the guy himself might have been a little different. They really wasn't good at pulling women anyway, so they came to a speed date thinking it would be easier. But then you got me who's sitting there being the MC coordinator of the thing, so they seeing my energy, and Keisha used to be like, "This don't make no motherfucking sense," because them bitches would always, at least one or two of them, try to ask me, "Well, are you part of the speed date thing?" By the end of the event, and I
can't take you nowhere.
Listen, so I would bring Mama Bear. Like Mama Bear has hosted a couple of my events, right? And then, but one time she didn't, and this girl flat said was like, she was like, "Well, woo, you got to, I was like, "Well, I got a girl, whatever." Oh, well, you said you got a girl, so that means y'all not married. So take my number down, flat out. And thank God, I'm gonna tell you, Keisha was very protective over me though.
Yeah,
Keisha used to be quick to be like, "You got to get away from him. Bye."
Girl, go on somewhere.
One of the funniest stories, we did one in Lansing. And y'all know my Mama Bear lives in Lansing. And we had this, and I'm saying it for the story, this white lady that had to be 65, 70 years old came to speed dating. Her husband had died like 4 years before that. No, 5 years before that. And she had said she had went on a cruise by herself. She loved to have fun. Now, all these guys that are speed dating are like 35 and up, right? Do you know, so if there was a space, either me or Lakeisha, like an empty spot, me and Lakeisha was sitting in a chair to talk to the person until they made their switch after 5 minutes. I'm talking to the young lady, the older lady.
The older, younger lady.
Do you know we talking? Now, Mama Bear is sitting there in the corner, eating her food, chilling, because she had just got off work, but she came to support. She like, "So, are you married?" Huh? Well, no, I put the event on. She said, "That's not what I asked you." She said, "Are you married?" I said, "Well, no, I'm not married." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, how do you feel?" Now, this is like some motherfucking Barbara Walters ass bitch here. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about motherfucking Liz
Them whole
Taylor.
snow bunnies love you. They don't give a fuck what age.
Man, listen. So I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm thinking, damn, that bitch retirement check might be it though. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I was like, well, but that is my girlfriend. You know that motherfucker said, "Well, you don't need to be sitting here then." Go ahead. Bye.
What?
I'm thinking she's joking. I'm like, no, I'm being, this is my event. No. She's like, "No, you good. All right, take care of yourself." You know this bitch dismissed me.
Are you
Man, I'm bullshit you not.
I'm weak as fuck. Oh
that motherfucker said, "Well, you don't need to be sitting here then. See you later. Bye." That motherfucker, I got dismissed by a 7-year-old white woman. I'm bullshit you not in Lansing. This is at my event. At my event.
What did you do? Were you like, okay?
No, exactly. So then I walked over. I was like, "Christina, did you just see what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you see that?" She's like, "What?" Because she oblivious. She over there eating her food, so she ain't thinking about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I said, I think she did say, "Well, should have got that money."
I'm weak. That is so funny you say that, because sometimes I be telling Larry, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna need you to hit up this old ass lady and get some money."
Okay, I got a funny story about that. There was one time back in my wrestling days. So, obviously with the wrestling, I have to wear these goofy ass wrestling outfits, right? So I was really working out. So I'm in my prime shape at this time. I'm walking out the ring, and this female fan was like, now the girl I was dating didn't go to the show that time, right? She used to always go. She's actually my godson's mother. She would go to the show, but she didn't go that time. So the way our outfits, they were like little, I can't even explain, but like
our outfits. Please explain it.
The booty was way up there. The booty was twerking. The booty was full of. So the lady
so you was wearing a thong.
Full-fledged spandex for real.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They was like boy shorts, but way shorter. So, and literally they said whip dog, like whip on the one booty cheek, dog on the other booty cheek.
Oh my God, please
so
stop it.
So the fan, the lady,
We're gonna
asked,
post that after this the show too.
the fan asked me. She was like, "Whip, can I ask you a question?" She said, "What?" Will I get in trouble if I grab your butt? I said, "What?" I'm like, whatever. So I said, I'll just start laughing. I walk away. I go home and I tell my god's mother we were dating. She was like, "And did you?" I was like, "No." She said, "What the?" She said, "You got 40 t-shirts right there that you need to sell, and you didn't sell them because you won't let the motherfucker touch your butt. That was
Man.
to make some money." And she was dead ass serious. That she was like, "We'll worry about the other shit later. Get the
Man,
bag." You
I
what
know
I'm saying?
that's right. I don't understand. Like, come on, I'm gonna need y'all to like buck up, man, and just do the shit. Get that bag, bro.
He was like, "No, we gotta carry these 40 t-shirts to the next town because your ass won't let nobody fucking touch your little butt."
Touch your booty. I mean, it's sticking out, Whip. What do you
It was
expect?
like right there. He said, "One smack. That was $50 for a t-shirt you could have sold."
Man, that's it. See, that's not you ain't hustling then. You
Nah,
wasn't
you're
thinking
right.
about it.
I wasn't a hustler at all, man. But with that being said, man, let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Real, we want to honor our sponsors one more time, though. Guys, make sure you check out DJ Dale B Detroit.
We are gonna post that picture though.
Oh,
you
my
gotta
God.
find it. Come on, Whip. You gotta find it.
I got it. I'll find it.
Okay.
DJ Dale B Detroit. Check him out at the Dream Suite, Farmington Hills, Michigan. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Come out to his ballroom classes. Also, Northwest Championship Wrestling. They got another show May 28th, the last Friday in Berkeley, Michigan. You can go to their Facebook page as well, Northwest Championship Wrestling. And AK, go ahead with the Ready to Rock.
I was like, are you okay? You like got something going on there? What's going on? You gotta swallow. Our third and special sponsor, special to me, my friends, my used to be partners that I used to work with. They own Ready to Rock the House, a locally owned business that specializes in family recreational fun. They offer indoor and outdoor entertainment, bouncy houses, water slides, bumper balls. You know what I said earlier? If you want to bump into somebody you don't like, rent these motherfuckers. You can bump, knock them down. You can run them over again, do whatever you want. Projection screens. You got birthdays, parties coming up, graduations, retirements. Any type of party that you have going on, they can fulfill your needs. You can check them out at RTR House on Facebook or Ready to Rock the House LLC. And I'm sure they'll give you I'm sure they have another promotion going on right now. You can call them at 567-315-9609. And also, the founder of Ready to Rock the House, she's having a fundraiser for herself because, like I mentioned before on the other shows, she's had back-to-back surgeries, having some health problems. She has 6 kids. And again, I didn't check on how many grandchildren, but she's a provider, her and her husband both. So she's off of work and hasn't been able to have a steady income. They are having a fundraiser for her Sunday, May 21st, 2023, 5 to 11 at the Latins United on 706 South Sinclair Street. You guys can make donations at Ready to Rock on Cash App or Venmo at Rock. That's ROCFANE. And we love our sponsors, each and every one of you. Thank you guys for believing in us, for rocking with us, for letting us promote you and letting us grow together.
For sure. And guys, real quick before we get out of here, next week, I know we've been having a lot of fun today. We have Freda Payne. Once again, thank you for coming on the show, the legendary Freda Payne. But next week, we're going to be real serious, man. So we want to make sure y'all tune in for this. We're going to kind of talk about domestic abuse a little bit and the effects it has on people. So next week, tune in, tell your friends right now. We're going to make sure we post that tomorrow. Get y'all ready for next week's episode.
Yeah.
We're going to have some numbers and we're going to really try to save some lives and help some people out, man. We got an amazing guest.
We're going to talk about narcissism too, correct?
Yes. So definitely just tap in with us next week, y'all. Well, for Whip
and AK,
we'll see you next time on the Whip and AK Show Uncensored. Take care, y'all.
See ya.